Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This is Renato, and thank you for joining our June edition of our monthly community call. Just a reminder that this call is going to be recorded, and afterward we're going to post it to our Yammer group and YouTube. So if you don't want to participate on a recorded call, you may disconnect it now. Today, to talk about Microsoft Relationship Sales, we have two great guest speakers from Microsoft, Dave Held, our Senior Product Marketing Manager, and Jeff Edwards, our Dynamics Partner Strategist. Dave, you have the floor.
Excellent, thank you. Excited to be a part of this call this morning. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what is the relationship sales solution offer that we put together that combines Dynamics 365 for Sales and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Jeff will follow with kind of some of the construct of the offer and what it means to you as a partner. But we're going to set the stage a little bit first in terms of what it is and what are the capabilities and how are we at Microsoft and LinkedIn going to market from a messaging perspective. Excuse me. So as we look at relationships, they've always been key to winning in sales. In the early days, the focus of any seller was on knowing the customer and building authentic one-to-one relationships. The seller understood the unique needs of the buyer, and they focused on maintaining that level of engagement with the buyer throughout the With the introduction of technology, sales organizations have experienced significant increases in productivity. Practices such as role specialization, telesales, sales and marketing automation, and self-service have made sellers more productive. But in the pursuit of productivity, sellers have become more removed from buyers. Over time, sellers have shifted away from building relationships to executing transactions. And at a time when buyers are expecting more authentic and personal interactions. With mobile and social media, buyers are more informed and they have more power to influence. It's no wonder buyers today are demanding and have higher expectations. This leads us to a stark reality. Buyers they're very skeptical of sellers. According to an Accenture study, 77% of buyers don't believe sellers understand their business and can actually provide value in the context of the buying transaction. So this means that buyers are less likely to engage with sellers. And that's a wake-up call. It's clear that we're out of touch and that there's an urgent need for them to focus on understanding the needs of buyers and truly getting back to building authentic relationships. But why is it so challenging to build relationships? In today's environment, sellers are overwhelmed. They're not just juggling more accounts and stakeholders, but they're also inundated with disparate data scattered around transactional systems, social networks, and productivity systems. So let's look at what prevents sellers from building a strong relationship. First is not finding all the key players. To build a relationship, if they need to close business, sellers must be able to systematically identify all the decision makers. This was difficult, back in the day when there was one decision maker that you engaged with throughout the buying cycle. Today's consensus team buying process, it could be up to 6 to 7 individuals involved across an organization. You're interacting with not only the decision maker, but HR, possibly finance, legal, procurement, and they all have different needs that they are fulfilling within the organization. And then you combine that with, the average person rolls over 20% in roles, either leaving the company or moving to a different role within a company every year. So it's a constant change of identifying the players. Combine that with, the perception of not being able to drive value. I already mentioned, having 6 to 7 people across the buying cycle with different needs. How are you as a seller going to be able to provide the right value for each of those individuals? And then lastly, being able to do this across a specific opportunity or an account, and then across your entire account portfolio. A CEB study actually states that the average seller who has 25 opportunities that they're managing, they'll have 300 internal touch points, whether that's technology or with appears within their own organization every single month. That's not selling time, that's internal. And really the root of the problem is the disparate system that sellers must navigate to get the insight to build those relationships. So when crucial data about relationships and accounts resides in silos, in CRM systems, in social networks like LinkedIn, and productivity email systems, it's impossible to derive meaningful and actionable insights. So think about when a seller starts a new job at a company. They're given a email account, hopefully Office 365. They're giving a CRM system, and then they also conduct research across LinkedIn. This data is important, but it's disparate, and it is not configured or integrated or orchestrated across any sort of common experience for the seller. Now there's a solution that brings together that disparate data from CRM with Dynamics 365 for sales, productivity and email with data from Office 365, and social networks with the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It unifies the selling experience around relationships. Combines the power of LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Dynamics 365 for sales, unifies the seller experience, and enable the seller to focus on building and maintaining personalized one-to-one relationships. With customer-centered insights, sellers can deliver at scale with authentic and personal engagement that today's buyers demand. The solution not only brings together disparate data across transactional systems, productivity, and social networks, but it also provides unique insights for sellers to leverage when interacting with their buyers. But too much data without any insights can be overwhelming. So being able to bring these systems together means sellers can finally rise above the noise and make intelligent decisions. They have the insights that empower them to deliver the high-touch, personalized interactions that foster relationships. From being able to quickly gauge the health of the relationship when reviewing accounts, to knowing who from your network or company can introduce you to your buyers, to keeping track of job or role changes within an organization. Bringing together LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Dynamics 365 for sales helps sellers build stronger and better relationships with buyers while achieving higher productivity. This is the era of relationship selling, combining the best of that personal and transactional experience into one experience for your seller to be able to deliver value to your buyer. Three key capabilities of the solution are to be able to build relationships with the right people, offering insights and recommendations, and then making it easy to manage those relationships at scale. Let's look at each of these in a little bit more detail. Relationship sales enables sellers to find the right people to build relationships with from the beginning. For example, if you focus on the right people, so let's say start building relationships with leads that are most likely to convert. You can use the predictive lead scoring in Dynamics 365 from Versity and Predict. And you can basically make it easy to understand and act upon a lead score that is based on prior and predictive modeling. That empowers sellers to focus on the right leads from the start. It also aligns sales and marketing with a shared definition. You're able to leverage momentum and relationships already cultivated by marketing to shorten the sales cycle and create a cohesive experience for buyers. Once you kind of know which accounts or leads or contacts to go after, being able to find every member of the buying committee is critical. You can increase the win rate by going deeper into the buying team structure and building multiple relationships. With over 500 million professionals on LinkedIn, sellers can find all of their decision makers and influencers, and being able to map the entire buying committee by leveraging criteria like function, seniority, and others within LinkedIn Sales Navigator within the context of Dynamics 365. And finally, being able to discover the best path to reach each buyer. So you identify the best way to get introduced to a buyer, whether it's through a personal connection or through a team link connection. Buyers are more likely to respond to an introduction by someone they know and trust rather than cold outreach. Second key capability is then being able to offer insights and recommendations to all of those individuals across that buying cycle. Being able to understand what buyers are interested in through the content they share on LinkedIn and the discussions they participate in, as well as getting real-time alerts when they change jobs, connect with someone in your network, or are mentioned in the news. being able to discover and evaluate business opportunities with unique insights around company growth, functional trends, and recent articles. Combine that with the ability to leverage Office 365 to create personalized content, and being able to package that sales content into one organized view for buyers with Point Drive. And then not only share that to a buyer through Point Drive, but then also be able to receive notifications when they interact with that content. Track their activities to gauge what they're interested in, as well as identify other key stakeholders at the account when a Point Drive is forwarded to other contacts in the same organization. Finally, making it easy to manage the relationships at scale. You're able to synchronize relationship data across the system. So contextual information, which is essential to building strong relationships, is synchronized between Sales Navigator and Dynamics 365. Combine the productivity from Office 365, and you have the ability to see activities like InMail. Notes within LinkedIn Sales Navigator are automatically synced to Dynamics 365. Being able to view LinkedIn information like relevant leads, who on your team can introduce the buyer, and relevant updates about leads and accounts right within Dynamics 365 for sales. I do want to make a quick point here. While we're able to track and sync data like InMails and notes, we don't sync member data from LinkedIn. We maintain the privacy of the membership relationship with LinkedIn. So you're able to see that data and information within the sales widget for Sales Navigator, but we are not actually syncing that data, the private information data, back into Dynamics 365. And then finally, being able to surface contextual guidance to navigate sellers through the sales process using a flexible and configurable guided sales process allows sellers to navigate through a sales process efficiently, no matter what stage of the cycle the buyer is at. Being able to minimize training while increasing user adoption with the contextual role-based help available from Learning Path, it's critical to be able to provide help where the sellers are working. And then being able to recommend the next best action to build the relationship. The relationship insights functionality and specifically Relationship Assistant provides insights that show the most important actions to take to move the relationship forward. This takes the guesswork out of building strong relationships. It allows the sellers to know exactly when to re-engage a buyer who has been inactive, or allow a seller to get a reminder about a critical customer email that's needing a reply. That's kind of the overview of the Microsoft Relationship Sales Solution, key capabilities, and the messaging of how we at Microsoft and LinkedIn are going to market. Jeff now can walk through a little bit more detail of what the offer looks like from a pricing and construct, as well as how it relates to you as a partner community. Again, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll hold tight and answer any questions at the end.
Hey, you guys can hear me all right? This is Jeff Edwards. Can anyone hear me?
Hey, Jeff, I can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. Can you guys see my screen yet?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
You can go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Jeff Edwards. I have kind of global responsibility for partner strategy in the Microsoft Relationship Sales Solution during this launch process. Really excited about the product. I think it's a great opportunity for partners to add an additional offering for customers and prospects. So I wanted to quickly go through the partner lens on this, I guess, in terms of how sales and the business will be done, the incentives, the pricing, and some go-dos, I guess, from a partner perspective as far as our recommended actions between now and launch. I'm not going to go over this very deeply. I think David did a great job of recommending and kind of reviewing the product. The product really does bring together the power of Dynamics 365 customer engagement apps, specifically the Sales app and the Enterprise Edition, with the data and capabilities that only LinkedIn can provide. I think today most effective salespeople spend a lot of their day toggling between LinkedIn and Dynamics 365 applications on a constant basis, really maximizing their chance to win the deal, but they're not getting all the value that LinkedIn offers in terms of the data and insights they bring to the table with the Sales Navigator products. With this product, we combine the power of Dynamics 365 for sales with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So a super compelling product, really excited to be adding it. I think it's a first and quick proof point over the true value of the Microsoft acquisition of LinkedIn. Oop, a little too fast. From a visual perspective, I actually think I need an update on the specific branding and grouping of products. But the key points here are really, A, this is Enterprise Edition only. It's certainly out of the gate an enterprise-focused product. And you see it joins all the individual products that are available in Enterprise Edition. We'll take advantage of all those integrations we have between Power BI and Office 365 built on the platform, increasingly taking advantage of all those things. But the key things probably to remember is one, it's not included in Plan 1 or Plan 2 suite of applications. It's a standalone app that's sold in combination and bundled in combination with the sales app. So it really is kind of created for sales professionals that day in, day out are executing on the sales process. To give you a view of how this thing actually works, when purchasing Microsoft Relationship Sales, the customer actually receives a license and usage rights to both Microsoft Relationship Sales and Sales Navigator. So in that Microsoft Relationship Sales solution combines Dynamics 365 for sales and the Sales Navigator data and functionality. The Microsoft field and partners are actually guided to sell the MRSS solution and position as the primary app for sales professionals. When you go out there and position this, you wouldn't say, hey, spend half your day in Sales Navigator and the other half of your day in MRSS. We really, with that connector, are bringing the value and information of Sales Navigator into that screen, into that single solution in combination with the Dynamics 365 for sales content. Microsoft Readiness and Support will focus on that SKU, on the Microsoft Relationship Sales solution. However, the customer has the right to use the Sales Navigator app as well if they choose. The readiness and support for the Sales Navigator app will be provided by LinkedIn directly to the customer. From a partner perspective, I'm assuming almost all of you on the phone have rights to Dynamics 365 for Sales Enterprise Edition as part of your IUR benefits. Microsoft is not making Sales Navigator SKUs available as an IUR at this time. Many of our partners already purchased this product, and that's what we would recommend that you do at this time. If you do purchase that Sales Navigator product, that connector integration piece is included, and you get that combination. It becomes the Microsoft Relationship Sales solution when you purchase the Sales Navigator product. From a pricing perspective, you'll notice enterprise-focused product, the value of LinkedIn and Dynamics 365 in one product. It is actually the highest priced customer engagement SKU, starting at $135 versus the Plan 1 of $115. But the combination of these is a very much discounted price over what the customer would get if they purchased them separately. So true value in the discount, true value in the integration of the products. So from an incentives perspective, first of all, it's available only in EA right now. We really wanted a crawl, walk, run. We thought that EA was really the best place from a target customer perspective, and the fact that Microsoft is heavily involved in the selling process with an SSP really in every deal. So launching with EA, we are considering expansion to direct and also to CSP in the future, but we have no specific dates on that yet. But in terms of EA, what we wanted to do was make this as common and similar and consistent as possible with all the processes and incentives that you get today. So in terms of the incentive rates, this is just like any other customer engagement app, and Plan 1 at 26% for a sell fee and 4% for a manage fee. And it really follows the same online service advisor claim process used today with the digital partner of record, really both in terms of the incentives, in terms of sales, and in terms of support. it really follows all the same processes partners have today. For escalations that need to happen between Microsoft support organizations and LinkedIn, that's happened in the background. Your engagement is purely with Microsoft support. Your engagement from a digital partner of record perspective doesn't require any actions with a new system or the LinkedIn organization. And no conflict on what you position to the customer. You could say that this, from a customer engagement perspective, this might be the thing that you push the hardest just because the price point is the highest and also drives a higher incentive dollar amount based on that higher price. You know, the short story on that is we try and make it as simple as possible to pick up this additional offering and sell it in the same engines and the same processes that you utilize today. So from a key takeaway perspective, again, best of Dynamics and LinkedIn in a packaged solution for our customers. I think you should look at the Sales Navigator portion of the solution as working pretty much out of the box. It's a fairly simple and quick setup and deployment. When I, as a partner, think about how do I make money with a specific product offering, in some cases, a product is more of a platform and it's highly extensible, and you write a lot of custom code or you create new applications. Sales Navigator is really not that. It's really not an extensible application, and the portion that becomes part of MRSS is really kind of buttoned up and presented as a whole application without the extensibility capabilities you might expect from other applications. So don't think about this as a platform. Think about this as critical functionality that integrates in with Dynamics 365 for sales, which you certainly can continue to think about as an extensible platform. Really, this is all about, and you know, the other point you would say is it's not really a deep implementation deployment. It's not going to take hours and hours to do this, which is a great value statement for the customer, but it's not something you should build additional, you know, implementation or consulting muscle around. You don't need to hire new people to be able to do this. It's a, you know, max 1 hour process to stand up this integration between Sales Navigator and the Dynamics 365. So really the value for you is all about value for customers and driving win rates with prospects, where they see this product, they see the fact that we're adding value and bringing together today what they do, looking at LinkedIn and looking at their CRM, their sales application, but definitely a better together prospect. So driving a higher win rate, a faster close rate, and a higher price for you, our partners, as well as Microsoft, is the way we see as the key value for this. Incentive models and processes are consistent. You don't have to learn anything new. You kind of go about your business the same as you do with the other customer engagement applications. And general availability in July. We will have lots of information in Inspire. We'll have all kinds of information, of course, online. But we think we'll get a lot of noise, a lot of press about this, about the value, the first fruits of our work together with the LinkedIn organization as a result of the biggest acquisition Microsoft ever made. So we think customers will hear about this, prospects will hear about this, and they'll be coming to our partners to get more information, and we'll provide as much content to help you sell this solution as we possibly can. That's also all the information that I had on my side, and I think let me check on the questions window. Dave and I will be happy to take any questions.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave and Jeff. I have a couple of questions from our partners here, so let me go through it. The first one, can you talk about a little bit, just cover what is Point Drive, what is the recent acquisition, and what does it mean for Dynamics partners?
Yeah, I could take that. So Point Drive is a new offering from LinkedIn. It was actually an acquisition that they did prior to the closing of the acquisition by Microsoft of LinkedIn. And essentially what it does is it allows a seller to create essentially a web page. Think of it as a personalized web page for a customer, and to be able to add documents, web links, videos, etc., all in one spot, share it with them so they can deliver a really branded and concise experience for the customer, and then be able to see how that customer, the buyer, interacts with the content. So that comes with the enterprise version of Sales Navigator with unlimited usage each month. The team version, is limited into the number of shares, and I want to say it's 30, but don't quote me on that right now. But for the purposes of the offer in play here, the enterprise version, it is unlimited point drive.
Awesome, thank you. Another one, can you cover again if we can or cannot create a contact inside Dynamics 365 from a LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, so you're not able to create a automatic, contact in Dynamics 365 from information in Sales Navigator. You have the ability to save leads and account in Dynamics 365 so that they're reflected in Sales Navigator so that you could follow them and their activity and news. But you do not have the ability to just bring contact data from LinkedIn into Dynamics 365. And that is to ensure the privacy that they have in the agreement with their members.
Okay, thank you. As a partner, it's clear that it's not part of the IWAR at this moment. So how does a partner can purchase Sales Navigator and connect to their internal Dynamics 365 instance?
Yeah, we'll have some specific information for our partners at Inspire, but it's pretty much a standard sales process that LinkedIn kind of executes every day. And then we'll have the additional information about hooking up the connector, kind of the integration code, which literally should take less than an hour. There's a kind of an early version on that, which will be improved, but there's an early version of that on AppSource right now that connects those two applications. But what we have in July will be more powerful.
Awesome. Any comments on special prices for Dynamics partners?
Don't have anything to talk about right now.
All right. If a partner or customer decides to buy it, to purchase it today, does it make any difference to what's coming next? Will it be updated automatically, or they should wait for the new updates first?
I think it probably makes sense to wait until July.
Okay. Let's see what else I have here. Does this add-on integrates with Dynamics 365 online and on-prem, or online only?
Yeah, I believe that this is going to work with both. I may have to clarify that. We can follow up, but I'm pretty sure that the integration is just a install from the AppSource. Let me confirm. I'll see if I can confirm while we're still on the call.
All right, there is one final question here. If you can very briefly review again the pricing options that are currently available. Can you go back to that slide maybe?
I'm sorry. State the question again.
Will you please review and discuss the pricing options again?
Sure. Let me see if I can get back there real quick. I think it's probably fair to set people's expectations that generally the LinkedIn sales organization kind of selling process has traditionally had a fairly religious belief in not discounting. So when you go, kind of to purchase as a partner, or your customers go and acquire a product, the level of flexibility that we've traditionally had from a discounting perspective might not be as aggressive or rich as it's traditionally been on Microsoft products, and it's just more or less a respect for the way that LinkedIn has traditionally gone to market. You see the waterfall pricing that starts at $135 and goes down to $97.
All right. Okay. These
I
are all the.
I do have a bit more information on that. So it is available on premise. There's a little bit more configuration involved, but the details are described in the PDF instructions on the app source. So it is available on both. A little bit more configuration with on-premise than online.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So these are all the questions I got here. Once again, Jeff and Dave, thank you so much for the presentation. This is a very, very important talk for our partners. I am pretty sure that they've really appreciated this call.
Looks like there's a couple questions in the conversation as well.
We got some more?
Renato, okay, there's a couple more. I just posted them. If you can take a look at those, Renato.
So the first question is how about inviting someone to connect in LinkedIn from Dynamics 365 for sales? So yes, when you're in the widget, you can see not only the lead that you're kind of following within the widget, you can see all the related leads and connections, and you can track and save those again back to those navigators. You can follow and connect with them via the widget itself. So, but again, you can't bring that data back in and automatically create a contact. The second question is, are customer trials available? Either new Dynamics 365 customers or existing. And yeah, so basically the trial experience is available through Dynamics 365. And then you can install the app on the app stores. However, to do that, you will need a Sales Navigator license from LinkedIn to complete that trial. We don't have any other trial experience to speak about at this point. And then, Jeff, did you see the other questions around some pricing and?
That's per month per user pricing. That's correct. I don't have the Sales Navigator, the regular retail price of Sales Navigator. I believe it's in the 100 to 110 range, but best to go look at that. I'm sure it's quoted on their website.
Yeah, that's in the ballpark, and obviously it scales as license numbers go up. It scales down, in accordance with that you can see here. And then obviously the Dynamics 365 application price is $95 a month. And then, yeah, there's a question on roadmap or kind of a request is consider being able to download contact information we can see on the screen. Obviously, that's going to probably be the number one ask, not only from our customers, our partners, our salespeople, but to be honest, it's the number one ask from every customer of LinkedIn's as well. At this point, though, with their relationship, membership relationship that they have, that's not in the current roadmap, but it is definitely being heard from everybody.
All right, I don't see any other questions. Do you have any additional question on your side, Karen?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, so once again, Dave and Jeff, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation.
Yeah,
Thank you
for the opportunity.
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Bye.